Welcome back, Jaime. Always providing the best videos along with morning coffee, and thanks, but did someone say coffee? Anyone else realize that Jaime has an Apple Watch? Apple Watch, that's not like Jaime. Could you imagine if Jaime and Morgan Freeman had a rap battle? I'd love to see that. That's right, it's that time of the week. I am Jaime Rivera. This is Pocket Now, and this is the Pocketnow Daily Recap for last week. So on Monday I asked you what name would you give Android M, as we had an Android M codename in addition to an update policy. We have 1,467 comments, thanks a lot guys, out of which one of them says, Android Michael Fisher, and yeah, I'll vote for that. Then Anfis says, let it be Android McDonald's, so at least now they can deliver the update faster. Game Boy Marcus says, Android M&M's, as they did with KitKat. Make it another deal with Mars, and that could be the case. Google is not necessarily using pastries anymore, so hey, the sky's the limit. Then on Tuesday I asked you what specific features would you look for in Nexus devices, as we have rumors that we are getting an LG Nexus, and we've been covering that for weeks. We have 516 comments, out of which Tygo says, I would be very happy with waterproof, larger battery, and better camera. I agree with all your points. Waterproof specifically, that would be cool. Then Derek Lee says, I would like a screen smaller than 6 inches. That was my main turnoff for the Nexus 6, and turnoff sounded like something else, but I agree. And Brandon says, how about a new Nexus 5 with premium materials? 5 to 5.3 inch Quad HD display, 2.5D glass, Snapdragon 808. To keep the cost down, besides it doesn't take much to run stock. 3200 milliamp hour battery, AMOLED, and what did I miss? You didn't miss anything, just the free price tag. On Wednesday I asked you, how important is Google Now for you, as the rumors are that iOS 9 is bringing something called Proactive, which sounds like a medication but is actually a new version of iOS 9 that competes with Google Now. We have 741 comments, out of which Gaveron says, iPhone already has Google Now. It's called Google Now, and yes it is, but it's not as cool or as useful as it is for Android, or at least as integrated, and that's a problem. Then Lawrence says, just another thing Apple will be borrowing from Android. Let's see if this goes the same way as widgets went on iOS. Nowhere, and you have a good point. Widgets can be pretty much useless on iOS. But then again, they also stall on Android. And yes, MSG says, Google Now makes Android, for me, its major selling point. And I have to agree with you. Google Now is probably one of my favorite features, but it's not the same for every country. That is something that Google needs to fix, but yeah, it is one thing that could make iOS better if they figured it out. On Thursday, I asked you what was your favorite Android M feature, as Google I/O had just happened, and we got everything announced. We have 332 comments, out of which one of them says, fingerprint scanner and Android Pay. I have to agree with you. I love fingerprint scanners. They're probably one of the things that I look for most in a phone, and the fact that it's now integrated to the Core OS was definitely a big winner. And Vi says, Google Photos is fantastic. Probably one of my favorite announcements at I/O, and that was also one of my favorite features, and it is extremely cool. Very useful and free. Then Erico says, app permissions, something really needed. Since most of us do not want to let my app track us or have personal information, a lot of commenters didn't really agree with you particularly, but then again, it's because the feature already existed to a certain degree. The problem for me is that, for example, in Google Now, if you don't allow it to track you, it won't give you all the information that it's so cool for. So, you know, it seems as if Google still tries to find a way to get you to give it permission, and that's really a problem. And finally, on Friday, I asked you if you care about split-screen multitasking, as we were expecting it on Android M, and it's there, but it's hidden. We have 371 comments, out of which Alcido says, some people don't like split-screen, and that's great. Just give us an opinion, or just give us an option, sorry. Allow split screen, yes or no. Yeah, that's the way it should be. You should be given an option to split your display or not. And the problem is that since it's not built into the Core OS right now, not all apps work with it, and not all apps are optimized to work well with it when it comes to Samsung phones. Master Simon says, yes, I wish I had split screen multitasking features on my OnePlus One. It has a big screen, 5.5 inches, so I do feel that it would be useful so that I could do some serious multitasking. I also wish for some one-handed mode. And yeah, whenever you have a large display, a phablet, I feel that it should be a standard. I agree with you, definitely. And finally, Robert Banu says, I have a Note 4 and I have never used two apps at the same time. It makes them small and hard to operate. Samsung has done this better, particularly on the Note 4 and Note Edge. Actually, applications work well, and it can be really really cool if you're navigating and want to do something else. But again, the problem is, and the main thing that we want, is to have this work across the whole operating system. That would be cool. That's it for the Pocketnow Daily Recap. Thank you very much for watching. A couple of tips if you want your comments to be featured. Number 1, keep them short. Number 2, stick to the point. Number 3, try to get some thumbs up. It helps us spot them a lot easier. You can also follow us on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You can follow me on Twitter, Jaime_Rivera. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I am Jaime Rivera. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next week.